Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Phoenix 642. These are essentially a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were getting on or off site. So starting off first, we have your black hitch head here with black lever. Now you have to have your black lever pulled up just like so to then wind down the jockey wheel onto the tow bar. It will snap down that black handle, push up this red ring and expose a green ring at the bottom. You then have your breakaway cable just here, which if you have an eye point has to be wrapped around that. If not, wrap it around the tow bar. You've got your jockey wheel on the side here, and then you have a gas strut handbrake. So these essentially, you'll hear a click when you first pull it up, but you want to make sure that you pull it all the way back, as otherwise it's not going to be fully engaged. Then you have 13-pin electrics, so if you do have 7-pin adaptation on your car, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. Now we are using our test equipment today here, so just on your door side, behind the axle, we have your plug-in for your mains. Mains plugs in nice and easy, just like so. Then you are then getting power into the caravan. So coming around to the opposing side, starting off first, we have an Acrol here full of clean drinking water, and then your water pump. Water pump slots in by just pressing in, and then you can lock it in by pushing down that cap. You then have this plastic cap to go over the top of the Acrol to make sure no nastiness gets inside, and at the bottom we have your strainer. Now it's crucial that your strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel, as otherwise it's going to lead to coughs, splutters and gasps. Then press this in just like so, lock it down, can't be removed unless you fancy break into plastic. Then just next to it we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler when operating on gas. Don't need to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Then I have a red propane gas bottle here. I'd always recommend propane over butane as it has a lower freezing point, with an in-date gas hose. Now, gas hoses themselves, the black ones will run for 5 years, the orange ones will run for 10. Now this is a propane gas hose with a propane pigtail that connects onto this regulator here. Tighten that up as much as you can by hand and then just nip it up using a spanner. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas bottle in the open or positive direction. Behind the axle here we have 2 points where both your wastewater for your shower and sink will come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can then empty out at the appropriate point on site. Then lastly we have your toilet function. So first up, just below, we have your cassette toilet. To remove this, press up on the orange handle and pull out towards you. Now this does also extend out and up, so essentially it can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. Then what you want to do is tilt that head to the side, open up the cap just like so. You want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually pressing your vent button. What I would recommend doing, opening up that cap, feeding in some fresh water, giving it a bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cup you have measurements in both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into there, back onto that cap, twist the head to the side, and then you want to push it in so that orange handle sits behind those white teeth, as then it can't be removed without pressing up. Then just here we have your flush tank. Your flush tank itself can hold around 12 litres of water, however I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill the compartment. You can also add a bit of what's called pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes the toilet smell a bit nicer. Now you don't want to travel with either of these too full, so just off to the side we have a little bung to drain out any remaining water from the flush tank. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then just underneath your right hand side seat you have your boiler just here. You also have this yellow switch valve. That switch valve is essentially your drain valve. When it's in the horizontal position as it is now, that is allowing the flow of water to come through. When it's in the vertical position, that will drain off any remaining water inside the system. November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan. Anytime you come off site, drain off the caravan, and we will leave that in the vertical position when you collect. Then underneath your other bed on the right hand side, well, it depends which side you're looking at, but regardless, we have first your point for your motor mover underneath here. Now this is specific to this caravan, and the brain box for it as well. And then all your trips and fuses just here, all your trips in the upright position, and all your fuses in the correct position. Then underneath you have your battery locker compartment just there. And just here we have your main control panel. So this is used to essentially operate near enough everything. So you have your main on and off switch just here. You have the internal lights, so off and on, as you can see. Then you have your awning light, so off, then on. Open up this compartment, and you can see the awning light on there. You also have this button here, which allows you to see the amount of power coming into the van. Now, when you're plugged in with mains, as I am now, it's going to give you the reading from that. However, if you're not plugged in with mains, that will give you the reading for the battery voltage. Then you have your pump button. So when I press this in, you can see that green light comes on. What that green light represents is that the boiler is being filled up. When the boiler is full, as you can see, no more green light. So with that, I usually let it wait about 2 to 3 minutes to allow it to come through, and then you will test your taps. So whilst we wait for that, I will show you your Truma blown air heating. So you have, let me get to the home screen. So you have a dial just here, which is also a button, and then a back button just here. So press in on that, and first up you have the caravan with the thermometer in. That's for the internal temperature of the caravan that you desire. Using the dial, I can go all the way up to 30, and it starts at 5. When I select the heat, it will come up on the flame there to show you that it is now using the heat. So when it's off, no bits at the top. Next up, we have the water temperature. So you can either have that off, eco, hot, or boost. Eco will get it to around about 40 degrees. Hot will get it to 60. And boost will prioritize the water heat over the heating of the actual caravan for around about 15 minutes. And once it's got to temperature, it will drop it back down to eco. Then you have your energy source. So you can either have gas, mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt, mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt, strictly electric with 1 or 2 kilowatts. So you've got the choice of gas, mains, or a mixture of both. Then you have your fan speed. So as I currently don't have the heating on, it's going to give me the option of either off or vent. Now what vent does is essentially just push out the air across the caravan. So if you were to have all the windows open, you can get a bit of circulation of nice fresh air. However, if I select a bit of heat, then go back to the fan speed, it's either eco or high. Eco is a nice steady boost, high is a bit more of a vigorous push. Then I can also set timers for it. So I can select when I'd like the heating and hot water to be active and when it's not. So if you're away from the caravan for a bit of time, you can have it so it's nice and hot, ready for you when you get home. Then we've got the time. So you just select the correct time whenever you come into the van. It is a 24-hour clock that it's currently set to. Then the spanner is additional settings. So you've got offset, temperature, brightness, language, index, and reset. I'm not going to go through them as we have set the panel to what we believe is the most user-friendly to use. If you'd like to have a look inside your book pack for what they represent, please do so. To turn off this panel, press and hold on the middle dial just here, and it turns it off completely, so there's no more heating. Now, it will also, if you're not interacting with the panel in a bit of time, it will fade off to this green screen as well, just so it doesn't disturb you whilst you sleep. Now, as it's been about 2 to 3 minutes, I'll show you here, both hot and cold. So what you're looking for is this nice steady continuous stream. If there's any coughs or splutters, go outside, check that the strainer is set at the bottom of the barrel. And you essentially want this to run for around about 30 seconds. Also ensure that your drain valve's in the correct position and you have plenty of water inside the barrel. Let it run for about 30 seconds. You can also check your other taps as well to ensure that they are working, but you're just looking for this nice steady stream. Then shut it off. It's drawing back through the water. Let me open up the tap. So as I'm running the water, you can see the green lights on there. It's drawing it back through, drawing it through, no more light. So quick summary: main on, lights, internal, external, water pump, main power. Then just here we have your hob, grill and oven. So all of this operates off gas. All you have to do, press in the dial, twist it to the side and press in the igniter. Standard to any sort of gas cooker. Now when you do first initially even get plugged in with the gas, it may be a case that the flame will ignite and then turn itself off. That's just the gas making its way through the system. So this is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see, all your burners nice and lit just here, and turn it off back to the central position. Then again for the grill, so press that in. As you can see, the grill nice and lit there. And lastly, the oven, so press in, twist to the side, and as you can see, your oven nice and lit there as well. Only other real thing to note, you want to make sure that you travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all of these burners are nice and cold. You can travel with the gas hose on and in the bottle, but make sure that the bottle's turned off. And just here we have your fridge operation. So to turn it on and off, you use this button here, and then you've got the choices of your modes there. You can choose what mode by pressing in that button. So flick over to mains, press it again, it will go to auto. Auto chooses what the fridge thinks is the best source to use. Now when I flick it again, it's going to go over to that battery symbol, which is representative of when you're plugged in with 13-pin electric. As there's no 13-pin electric, that means it's not going to light, meaning that it's going to begin to flash up and beep at me. Then I'll go over to gas. Now for gas, it will gradually begin to tick in. Then once it's finished ticking, that means it is then lit. Then you have the temperature gauge. So that's the amount of power that's coming into the fridge. The thicker the bar, the more power, the quicker it's going to chill. It will take around 4 hours, even on max, to fully chill the fridge. Then you have your child locks on the side and a couple of little lights inside for when it's lit. Turning this off, press and hold, no more lights. And just here we have your toilet operation, which is bog simple. Open that up, press the button in here, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push around any water inside the flush tank system. As we've drained it off, there's no water. To empty out your waste, press that handle away from you, opens up the cassette, pull it back towards you so that you're able to remove the cassette. When the cassette's full, there'll be a red light come on underneath that icon telling you to go empty your bog.